When it comes to Fortnite Chapter 4, there are a lot of opinions. Most of the people hate it, some people just don't care, and there's a minority that loves it. I'm part of the first option. I kind of hate Chapter 4 really. But is Chapter 4 really that bad? In this video we'll talk about the good, the bad and the ugly of Chapter 4. Let's start with Chapter 4 Season 1. My favorite part about this season in particular is the shockwave hammer. This, I think, is one of the best mobility items that we've ever gotten in Fortnite. Of course, besides the Spider-Man web shooters, but those were just peak. There was also the Excalibur rifle, which was a weapon that shooted exploding swords. Yup, that sounds fucking awesome and I loved it. It was probably my favorite gun in that season and I really hope they bring it back someday because it was awesome. And beside these two weapons, the loot pool was amazing all the season. There were amazing weapons that I really enjoyed. But yeah, let's also talk about the map a bit. There were some awesome biomes this season. The snowy biome was amazing with all its location, which was one. My only problem with the snowy biome is the one green location in it at the top of the map. It was so annoying for me, I just didn't love it. And I really love the medieval locations this season. I really love the Citadel, I really love the other locations that I don't remember the name. This is why I don't like this season, I just can't remember any of the locations' name, which is kind of bad in my opinion. But overall, the map was actually pretty enjoyable. Not memorable, but it was enjoyable in my opinion. And actually, the augments were introduced this season, which was fun. I really loved the different playstyles they gave you. But there was a problem. Some of them became meta, some of them weren't, so you had to choose some medallions, some augments to win a match. You couldn't just choose any augment, you needed to choose the best ones, otherwise you couldn't win, which was a bit annoying to be honest. But overall, they were a fun idea and I loved them at the start. And in this season we have gotten the My Hero Academia collab with its mythic weapon, which was a bit fun, but it was OP, it was really OP. And another event that we have gotten this season was the Christmas update, which gave us the Holiday Big Rig, which was basically just a car that had Santa Claus on it and it gave you gifts when he passed by you, which was awesome. Now, overall, you're going to notice that I am not going to talk about the story because I don't want to make a story video right now, because I could talk about the story for a bit more of 10 minutes and I really don't want to. Well, actually I couldn't because the story was pretty ass in my opinion, but yeah. So let's get on to the next point, the next season. Chapter 4, Season 2. This was the season that Mega City and the whole Japanese style biome was added to the game. Now, if you are talking about Mega City, I love the location, I love the theme they went with it, but I had a problem with it. And that problem is the buildings. They just kinda were there, they were empty, they were unbreakable, they were just there to make the city look a lot bigger than it actually was. Now, this season had some good things added to the game. The Attack on Titan collab, which was awesome, I really love the new mobility items that they gave us. The best Star Wars collab ever released in Fortnite. The Katana was awesome, I really enjoyed that too. And rank mod, which was actually a good change from Arena. The only problem I have with this season is that they vaulted the supply drops and gave us supply cages, which are pretty bad in my opinion. But yeah, opinions are controversial, but I know this one isn't because they were really bad. But it did bring us the slurp juices back, which weren't good either. They were pretty bad. But if you are talking about controversially, if you are talking about controversial things, let's talk about the next one. Chapter 4, Season 3. This season introduced a jungle biome in the middle of the map, which a lot of people, including me, didn't like because it was so annoying to walk through it. There was something that made it easier, it was the vines that were on the trees, that made it a bit easier to traverse, but it was still so annoying. But there's another thing bad with this season, the loot pool. Now, there were some enjoyable things like the boomerang, which was very fun in my opinion. I always love when a game has a boomerang weapon. But the rest of it was fucking stupid in my opinion. It was so overpowered. There's the flapjack rifle, the drum fucking shotgun, the cannon of the fucking automatons, there was S, the invisible gloves, S. Of course there are some other good weapons, but the bad really overshadows them because they were so bad, most of the weapons. So yeah, you just don't remember the good ones, like the new pistol and the shotgun and the explosive rifle. Those are amazing. But let's talk about the last season of this chapter. Chapter 4, Season 4, which was their last resort to make a good season in this chapter. Did they do it? Let's look at the facts. Why am I never able to pronounce words correctly? This season is just Chapter 2, Season 2, which is kind of cool. Chapter 2, Season 2 is objectively the best season in Fortnite history, at least in my opinion. This season is Heist Team, which was a lot of fun. The Rocket Ram was a new item that you've used for mobility, which was a lot of fun in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. The new locations were amazing. I really enjoyed that after you beat the boss, you could go into the vault and you choose a mythic weapon yourself, an old mythic weapon. You could choose between the mythic drum gun, the striker burst rifle, the chug, and a lot more, which was a really good choice in my opinion. This season actually had a pretty good Halloween event, which was fun, but I want to point something out. Even though this chapter didn't end with a live event, the next season that we have gotten was Chapter OG, which I'm not going to count, because in my opinion that's not a Chapter 4 season, that's completely its own thing. It literally says Chapter OG, Fortnite OG. So yeah, I'm not going to put it in this video. Maybe if you want I can make a video about that in the future. Now, if Chapter OG was put in this chapter, it was actually a pretty good chapter, but I will not going to put it again because Chapter OG is just playing off the nostalgia of Chapter 1. Now, how bad was Chapter 4? It was probably the worst chapter out of all the 5 that we have got. In my opinion, Chapter 5 is a lot better and a lot more enjoyable. But now, please put your opinions in the comments. What do you think of Chapter 4? Is it bad? Is it worse than I make it sound to be? But for now, I was Spydei, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.